Natural Meditative Stability by Longchen Rabjam. A clear distinction can be made between the ground of all ordinary experience and Dharmakaya. The very essence of awareness can be likened to a mirror, and its dynamic energy to the mirror's clarity. Due to that energy, awareness's display arises like reflections in a mirror. In this context, the essence of awareness is Dharmakaya. For it does not stray from the state of abiding as Dharmakaya. The ground of all ordinary experience is a non-conceptual, neutral state in which there is no realization of bare awareness. If you remain in that state, you encounter blocks to true meditative stability, for you reinforce karma for rebirth in higher realms. Within that state, there is an aspect referred to as consciousness as the ground of all ordinary experience. As well, there are the 6 avenues of sense consciousness that arise in response to objects, so that these consciousnesses based on the sense faculties extend outward toward objects. This reinforces the karma that perpetuates samsara, pure and simple. In short, all phenomena of samsara are contingent on this ground of all ordinary experience. If you yogins do not differentiate between Dharmakaya and the ground of all ordinary experience, you will not cut through the root of samsara and nirvana. And all the spiritual practice you undertake will serve to perpetuate samsara. I am explaining this so that you will turn away from it. Dharmakaya is bare awareness, elicited in all its nakedness, free of elaboration. Empty, yet lucid. So awareness is not a support for karma and habitual patterns. It abides as Dharmakaya, since it is empty in essence. As Sambhogakaya, since it is lucid by nature. And as Nirmanakaya, since it is the unceasing ground for the arising of things. The essence of the ground of all ordinary experience is a state of ignorance. Non-conceptual and neutral, comparable to the consciousness of beings in the formless realm. Its nature is the aspect of consciousness as the ground of all ordinary experience, serving as the basis for the arising of the sense consciousnesses. Instead of responsiveness, there are 6 avenues of consciousness and the reification of sense objects. These factors reinforce the diverse karma that perpetuates samsara. Furthermore, the possibility of erring into the formless realm opens up primarily if you are habituated to the context of the ground of all ordinary experience. Into the form realm if you are habituated to the context of consciousness as the ground of all ordinary experience. And into the desire realm due to the 6 avenues of consciousness. Nowadays, in their meditation, people either focus on the ground of all ordinary experience or focus on consciousness as the ground of all ordinary experience. That is, consciousness that is merely limpid and non-conceptual. Or maintain the experience of freeing upon their arising, thoughts based on the 6 avenues of consciousness. But none of these methods go beyond the 3 realms. In this approach, having identified unobstructed awareness, you gain the fundamental state of Dharmakaya. Since you have no expectation that a non-conceptual state of calm abiding is meditation, the ground of all ordinary experience is undermined. Since your spiritual path is not forged with a merely limpid state of meditation, consciousness as the ground of all ordinary experience is undermined. And since your path is not forged with the arising of thoughts directed outward, the 6 avenues of consciousness are undermined. You abide constantly in timeless awareness as the 3 kayas. since awareness, which in essence has never existed as anything whatsoever, abides innately as emptiness. It is timeless awareness as Dharmakaya. Since it has a quality of unobstructed lucidity, it is timeless awareness as Sambhogakaya. And since there is realization of bare awareness as the unceasing ground for the arising of things, it is timeless awareness as Nirmanakaya. This is the key point. The necessity at all times of eliciting unobstructed awareness in all its nakedness. If it is not elicited in its bare state, you are not free of the consciousness found in the three realms. So you have not risen the slightest bit out of samsara. Therefore, you must distinguish between the ground of all ordinary experience and Dharmakaya. In essence, the ground of all ordinary experience serves as a repository for habitual patterns. As for the derivation of the term, the ground of all ordinary experience, refers to the phenomena of samsara. Since it is the ground of these, it is called the ground of all ordinary experience. For the sake of analysis, it is threefold. The ground of all ordinary experience as it applies to physical embodiment constitutes the beginningless habitual patterns that bring about the manifestation of a body. And deriving from that, all that serves as the basis for the amassing of one's individual body. The ultimate ground of all ordinary experience, as a process of involvement, constitutes the non-recognition of awareness. That is the basis for reinforcing all the karmic factors that perpetuate involvement in conditioned existence, such as the mind-body aggregates. The ultimate timeless ground of all ordinary experience constitutes the beginningless non-recognition of awareness. That is the pervasive support for the phenomena of samsara. The essence of Dharmakaya is unobstructed awareness, free of elaboration. As for the derivation of the term Dharma, refers to what is authentic, the ultimate essence of being. And Kaya refers to what supports it. Upon analysis, it is found to be threefold, for it abides as the qualities of the three Kayas: essence, nature, and responsiveness. And the pearl garland states, "There is the ground of all ordinary experience, because there is reinforcement." There is Dharmakaya, because what is subject to degeneration has fallen away. Though it is empty, it is lucid. And being lucid, it is pervasive. It is not defiled by ordinary thinking, for recollection disappears. It is free of elaboration itself. Like space, it is pervasive and empty. It is naturally pure and free of all characterization. The ground of all ordinary experience, involving causes and conditions, is like a reservoir, because habitual patterns are amassed. Dharmakaya is free of habitual patterns. From the consolidation of conceptual consciousness, ordinary mind, and other factors, the ground of all ordinary experience manifests to beings in myriad ways. Since Dharmakaya is free of conceptual consciousness and the like, the many forms it manifests have no corporeal reality. As for the key points concerning ordinary mind versus timeless awareness, the essence of ordinary mind is thinking based on confusion. As for the derivation of the term, it is ordinary mind, since it minds sense objects. Upon analysis, we find that there is pure ordinary mind, non-conceptual states, and the impulse toward liberation. And impure ordinary mind, the thinking process within samsara. The essence of timeless awareness is identified as the facet of consciousness that is due to the aspect of Dharmakaya. The reverberation of sound states. These are the key points concerning ordinary mind and timeless awareness. Ordinary mind refers to what, in essence, engages in and permeates confused thinking. And it is the foundation of recollection and thinking. A distinction can be made between its pure and impure aspects. As for the derivation of the term, it refers to thought that gives rise to objects of attention. What is minded? What does the minding? what minding is and why things are minded. Timeless awareness is not ordinary thinking. Its essence is natural lucidity, the ultimate meaning of the heart essence. Its divisions are held to be three. As for the derivation of the term, it carries the meaning of abiding timelessly. And since awareness does so, it is timeless awareness. And the pearl garland states, if there is freedom from ordinary mind, that is the level of Buddhahood. The distortions common to all ordinary beings have been exhausted. Beings are driven by ordinary mind, for without it, they would not go on being driven. Therefore, beings appear as if in a magic show. Enlightened mind is free of all vacillation, but it is not like some inanimate thing. It is conscious and aware. Exhibiting an illuminating quality. It incinerates all concepts, for it is timeless awareness itself, consuming like fire. It is analogous to space itself. It is empty yet lucid, as well as aware. Therefore, timeless awareness reveals itself in one's perceptions, arising naturally. Undifferentiated responsiveness is pervasive, is connected with everything, and is the perfection of all phenomena. As for recollection, there is no recollection. Timeless awareness is free of the very basis of recollection. Timeless awareness itself is as follows. It is pure timeless awareness, as it abides as the ground of being, as it is endowed with attributes, and as it permeates the domain of the senses.